Hello, Internet. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. Suit Yourself put out a video showing you how to record other people's YouTube videos. So I'm going to try my first attempt at actually watching and reacting to somebody's video. The video that we are going to watch, if I can get through it, is Transgendered and in Denial by Milo Stewart or Quinby Stewart. Whatever you want to fucking call it. Alright, let's check it out.
Hi, I'm with pals.
Is it just me or does she always seem like she's fucking high? Like, either excessively high or mildly retarded. But then I guess that's kind of an insult to the retarded people out there. I'm so fucking sorry.
We are all trans. We're many transes.
Many transes? Look like a little gaggle of geese. They're just or maybe lemmings. Lemmings would probably be the better term for this. Yeah. We're all trans. Yeah. Special.
And we kind of, at least Noah and I, had similar ways of figuring out that we are trans. I don't know how you figured out you were trans, but we both had to have...
What the fuck was that? What was that?
People tell us that we're trans before we figured out. Other people figured out before us.
Yeah, very high key.
The most explicit time that someone had to tell me that they think I was trans was when I had a recurring dream that I had a boy's body, and then I was like, shit, I'm in a boy's body, what the fuck?
That was your first clue? Not childhood experiences of feeling dysphoria? You had a dream that was reoccurring that you had a boy's body in it?
And then
she's looking at the camera like excessively excited. Maybe she just wants a dick so badly inside her that, a simple dream of having a dick and being able to do whatever you want with it was very thrilling to her.
And then I told my very super religious anti-gay friend, and then she was like, lol, you sound like a transsexual. And I told her, no way, not me, I'm not one of those.
No, you're not. Oh, it's just so disgusting to you, was it? Just the pure thought of it, even now. Ew, oh God, no, not one of those. Ew. Oh.
The problem with me is I have such a bad memory that I can't really remember the first time that it happened, and I don't remember all the times along the way. I just remember being told repeatedly that I was trans by them.
Alright, let me get this straight. These two both figured out that they were trans, not because of themselves and thinking about what they've been through and how they feel since they were born. It's because other people told them. They told them, oh, you're trans, you're trans. Take the blue pill, you're trans. Yeah.
Over and over and over and over again. Pretty much every...
About fucking brainwashing somebody. Jesus. This is what I don't get. These people are so I am so special. I am such an individual. But They're now browbeating the people around them to make them believe that they are the same thing they are, so they can feel like they're in a community together, because obviously hopping on the bandwagon of the LGBT community is just not good enough. You got to be a part of that community and be a part of your own community and make sure that everybody in the world becomes a trans too.
I feel like a really big thing with like figuring out if you're trans or not is like how much time you're spending thinking about it, because I feel like cis people don't really run around the world usually being like, am I trans?
For somebody who's so trans and not cis, fucking hate that word, you sure like to think you know what cis people feel like on a day-to-day basis and what they do and don't do.
And trans people spend years running around the world being like, am I trans? And then like feeling like they aren't like trans enough.
I can't speak for men here, but plenty of women in their lives, women who were born women and have not questioned whether they're trans or not, have, at times in their life, because of other people or just because their own thoughts on what a woman is supposed to be, has looked upon themselves and been like, am I girly enough? I don't want to put a bunch of makeup on and wear heels. Am I girly enough? Not one's questioning whether they were a girl or not, just questioning if they were girly enough.
To like justify it, and no cis person ever does that because...
Just because you question in your life when you're young and growing up, gender roles, you question that does not mean you're trans. That's normal. That's not trans. That's normal.
Here's the thing where I think I got confused is like I kept thinking of it as like a gender roles thing, which I remember we talked about it because like I would always just be like, like I don't think I'm trans. I just think that I like am not comfortable with like gender roles of like being a man.
There was like a lot of conversations we had where like the main like the focal point kind of after we like went around the topic a bunch was like really deep-seated discomfort with being viewed as a guy, like, out in public society, which is a very, like, social dysphoria.
Here's the point that they just pointed out. They didn't even think about or question whether they're trans until the stupid, dumbass people around them started saying, you're trans, you're trans, you're trans. And that's when they started to think, ooh, maybe I'm trans.
A lot of dysphoria, like, there's so many different types, but, like, social dysphoria is, like, one of the most fun kinds.
Social dysphoria is not being trans.
I would say that that's probably like the strongest one for me, because like I don't know if I'm necessarily that uncomfortable with a lot about my body. I've had like my fair share of like weight related things like that.
Most people, at some point in their life, if they've ever gained a couple pounds, or have just always been a little bit overweight, have had that. That's normal. And genital uncomfortableness. Now, here's the thing about that. I believe most people have, especially when you're growing up and learning about these things before the purest feeling and instinct of sexual desire kicks in, have looked at our genitals and pictures of other people's genitals and been like, that's kind of gross looking.
That kind of body image thing, and like genital discomfort feels, but like in general it's definitely more of like a social thing. We're like going out and like being read every day is like cis guy, like that shit is what kills me the most, I think.
So you're not trans. You like having your penis.
I think that makes sense how it took you, like, longer to see that you're trans, or you needed someone else to help you see that you're trans, like, if, like, the big thing that you were experiencing is social dysphoria, because...
The only way you need help figuring out that you're trans, the only way, is if you never knew it existed in the first place. Then somebody says, you know, oh, look, these are trans people. This is what they are. Then you might go, oh, yeah, that's what I am. But nowadays, this idea of being transgendered is everywhere. You cannot claim that you just didn't know about transgendered people.
Social dysphoria is less talked about and less legitimized as a trans narrative.
Because it's not legitimate.
Like for me, I figured out my trans identity mostly through having a very intense bottom dysphoria when I was very young, starting in middle school. And I don't know how no one figured out my obsession with having a dick sooner. How I didn't acknowledge that that wasn't a normal thing.
Perfectly normal. You're a child and you have one kind of genitalia that is completely different than somebody else's kind of genitalia. You're gonna kind of obsess over it. Curiosity. I wonder what it's like to have a penis. I wonder what it's like to have a vagina. That's perfectly normal. That's as normal as playing doctor.
I feel like when I was in like kind of like boy spaces, I had an easier time relating to the folks there, and when I was in like girl spaces, which was like the majority of the time, of course, because that's how I was like raised or whatever, the way that girls especially like talked about boys and talked about being girls, I could never like really connect with.
When I was a little girl, yeah, same thing. I felt way more comfortable with the boys than I did with the girls, because the girls were stupid and talked about stupid shit. I'm not trans.
Definitely dysphoria was a thing. Like I remember being really uncomfortable with like my mom and like her friends would all like point out that I was like growing hips or like growing like a chest, and I just remember being like super uncomfortable with that and like not wanting to like wear like bras and like all that kind of stuff.
Puberty. It makes you uncomfortable. Alright, look. I can't watch anymore. Pure and simple. I can't. It all comes down to young people are easily indoctrinated. It's excessively easy to change their minds. Their minds are malleable. Their thoughts are malleable. And that's all this is. Individuals wanting to feel so very special and individual, and having other people try to indoctrinate them in like, yeah, you can be a special snowflake too. You just gotta, yeah. Have you ever felt this way? Yeah, you have? Have you ever felt this way? Yeah? Then you're trans. You may have never ever thought to yourself, man, I should have actually been a boy. I mean, I'd never thought that, but according to them, you're still trans if you ever had a curiosity of what it would be like to have a penis, or have felt uncomfortable around people of your own gender, or around people in general. Any kind of social awkwardness is now considered you're trans. It's just alarming. I'm going to leave this here. I will leave a link if you want to go watch it. And, yeah, editing this should be interesting. It'll be my first time editing this way, but we'll see how it works. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.